Hello, welcome back to Assorted Beef, so I talk about anything I want to that doesn't fit into niche tea for any particular reason. I am, as you may have guessed, sick, and therefore this is going to sound like ass, and that's also part of why I haven't posted, in addition to traveling and life shit and all kinds of stuff, but we're trying to get back into it. Nothing could motivate me faster to get back into it than being able to shit on a corporation that's acting a fool. I hate that shit. Specifically, the company is named Evryjewels, and I want to talk about some back and forth they've had recently with a TikToker named Samara. Evryjewels is a jewelry retailer. Literally, you buy jewelry from them. They have a pretty sizable social presence. They have 1.5 million following on TikTok. They are fairly well known for having like insane sales all the time, which basically means they're not on sale, you know? And there's been like mixed reviews of them just in almost every way in terms of like quality, shipping time, customer service, like all that kinds of stuff, the way they work with influencers. I've seen stuff about them for a long time now. But honestly, I never really paid any attention to it because that's what direct-to-consumer marketing is. A lot of them are shady. I'm not saying Evryjewels is. I've never bought from them before or had any kind of experience personally that I'm going to be talking about. That's just why I didn't think much of it when I heard complaints about them in the past. But today I get a video across my FYP from a TikToker named Samara who had a very interesting interaction with them over the last several days. This all started because apparently over the last, I don't know, weeks, months, sometime in there was another TikTok person, influencer, who had a bad experience they posted some videos about relating to Evryjewels. Everything's deleted, and I'm hearing this like fourth hand at this point, so truly, and it doesn't actually matter whether it is itself true or not, but the original claim supposedly from this other TikToker was that she and Evryjewels were doing some kind of deal where she would make content and they'd give her like a gift card or some form of payment, and they didn't. She made videos about it and then deleted it. I don't know what's true, what's not about that story. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that Samara saw those videos from that other influencer as they were posting them. This then prompts Samara to 4 days ago post her own video, and as like an intro prompt into the larger topic she wanted to talk about, she references this exchange between this influencer talking about Evryjewels. It was like a 30-second intro to a video where she sets up what was happening by saying like, oh, I saw these videos, I know they're getting deleted real fast, but I don't know if you saw that thing where this influencer is saying that, you know, Evryjewels was gonna work with them and then they didn't pay her, etc., etc. Anyway, and then she just moves forward. According to Samara, the video initially got like 80 likes and 2 comments, like it did not go anywhere. I tend to believe that, given that even now, post all these videos she's made that have gotten more attention on that initial video, it still has virtually nothing on it. But clearly, Jason Katz, the co-CEO of the company, did see that video and he was not very happy. He decided that it was really not cool of her to talk about a thing that someone else was talking about in the space, and that she didn't say the words allegedly, according to whomever, etc. enough. And so he sent her, frankly, an unhinged cease and desist email. Samara goes through the whole thing on her video, but I'll put the text of it here. It's basically the standard, you know, this isn't the facts of what happened. You're spreading misinformation. It's going to hurt our business and we'll take you to court for it. They also threw in a lovely, we will also contact TikTok to have your account taken away somehow, which I assume just means they'll report her account and or video. All of this is incredibly stupid to begin with. The fact that this wasn't sent from legal counsel, but from somebody at the company, the fact that this was sent from a CEO, the fact that this was sent to somebody who had probably a 5,000 view video before you sent this. These types of legal threats are why anti-slapp laws exist. Slapp lawsuits are lawsuits that exist specifically to basically beat someone into submission. They are lawsuits that exist entirely to make someone shut up, whether that person is in the right or wrong. Usually you'll see this from large companies and brands that have a lot of capital and a lot of resources to be able to spend a lot of time and money just in court. And they know that the person that they're suing doesn't have that same amount of resources and time available to battle their case out in court. So even if the person they're suing is in the right, they'll ultimately have to give up and stop doing whatever the thing is because they'll run out of money. It is unfortunately a very common tactic in America, and even with anti-slapp legislation, that's not consistent or uniform. It depends on where you are and how things are filed. There are ways to get around it. But because people are so scared of being put in that financial position, because a lot of people really cannot afford to battle a slapp lawsuit, these types of tactics have come into play from people who probably don't want to go the full length of it. Because I'm not a lawyer, but if I had to guess, Evryjewels doesn't have a case here. And thankfully, Samara knows this as well. What she's doing is talking about the same way I do, things that are happening publicly. She's not saying this definitively happened. She's saying you heard about that thing where this happened. She doesn't have to say, I heard maybe accidentally da-da-da, like on an offhand video. That's not what you would call a reasonable expectation that she's asserting the truth and perpetuating this rumor. I, as somebody who does this a lot, make a point to say, this person said this, and then this person alleges that, because I'm never breaking news. I'm always reporting on what conversation is and what the discourse is leaning toward. That is by design for a number of reasons, and this is one of them. Anyway, getting back to it, the really good part was at the end when in all caps, all bold, all underlined, he writes that she can't share, disclose, talk about this letter that he has just sent her in any place. And then says at the end, do govern yourself accordingly. Jason, please consider lowering your Vyvanse dosage. Thankfully, Samara has recognized this as the bluff that it is and has tripled down on them, and I love that so much. She has since gone on to post a second video that has like 2 million views at this point, entirely just talking about 2 major lawsuits that she can find that are open currently. This is publicly available information, and she is quoting it from specific sources. She's being very careful about what she's doing against Evryjewel. Please go watch it. I want her to get all the joy and flowers. But at a super high level, it turns out that there is a class action lawsuit open, according to what Samara found, against Evryjewel for the fact that they have like perpetual sales. You know, like they do that thing where they mark the original price way up and then slash it out and act like it's 90% off, but it's always 90% off. And so that's always true, and that's misleading. And functionally, that's what the class action lawsuit speaks to, which could be relevant for you if you've bought from Evryjewels before and thought that you were misled. Side note, I'm also separately now very interested in that specific lawsuit because that is a practice that I understood to be legal. Like I used to work at Macy's, and I remember I would be stocking jeans from inventory, and they would come with a label on them that said $40, like $39.99, and I'd scan them and they would say $29.99. Like they were never $39.99. They came out from the back on sale. So if there is something to that, I'd be very interested to see how that changes practice, like what's allowed. And in addition to that, the Chrome Hearts brand is suing them for IP trademark infringement. So love that for them. He closes out by saying to Jason directly that he should probably focus the legal efforts of the company toward defending themselves in these lawsuits versus trying to actively go out and attack random people on TikTok talking about public matters. And I agree. People have, of course, been leaving comments all over their page about this letter because it is, again, insane behavior. The amount of bad press that he was able to get with that letter is exponentially higher than anything Samara's video would have ever done. What did we learn?